Hey guys, it's Katie and I'm here today to do a review for Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. First and foremost, I'm really excited because I got a new phone and the camera quality on this one seems like a little bit better than the last one, or a lot better than the last one, so I'm like super excited about it. Second, it's day 2 of bar review and I'm already dying. But I had to stop and film this because I've been trying to film this video for like a week now and I'm dying, and I can't wait to launch it and tell you guys my thoughts and feelings on this book because holy crap was it incredible. So the basic premise of this book is the first son of the United States named Alex Claremont Diaz and one of the princes of England named Prince Henry kind of have a romantic love story. And it's about all of this stuff that happens kind of within their relationship. So this book starts out with Alex talking about how much he hates Prince Henry for one reason or another. It's kind of squishy as to figure out why, but then as time goes on we do learn a little bit more. And these two boys cause a fiasco at Prince Henry's brother's wedding. So his brother's name is Philip. They cause a fiasco at the wedding and they have to form a fake friendship in order to kind of keep up their appearances and keep up their image because they are such high profile people. And so they form this fake friendship. Ultimately they form a real friendship and then they have a sexual attraction relationship, kind of like friends with benefits, and then ultimately that turns into a romantic relationship with romantic feelings and they fall in love, and it's great. So just kind of launching into each and every part, talking a little bit about the writing. The writing was really great. It's really simplistic, but the thing that Casey really 100% got right in this book is millennial humor and millennial dialogue and just millennial speak in general. It was so incredibly well done. It was like I was reading a story that either I would live myself or seeing these characters doing and saying things that I myself would do and say, and it was just so wild, and I just lived and breathed for it because I was just so excited to see myself, like my age range, represented in a book. I'm gonna be 26 at the end of the month, and this book is kind of like early 20s, but like still I felt very represented and seen. It was just like really exciting for me to read about. So I just really enjoyed the writing, even though it was very simplistic. Then next, talking a little bit about the setting. The setting is kind of in some ways its weakest point. It takes place in both the United States and the UK, and kind of like scattered around like other areas as well. But the thing that really worked well was that Casey really captured the essence of both of those countries and their respective places really well. The reason I'm saying that it's like the weakest part is because, you know, it just takes place in current day world for the most part. So it just was not like anything spectacular. Like it didn't add a whole ton to the story, but like at the same time, as I said, it was written really well, and it did capture the flavor of the country, and it was a really immersive experience. It does kind of feel like you're experiencing everything along with these boys, and so I really enjoyed it. One thing that was kind of sad in some ways is it's kind of an alternate universe as to what would have happened if a woman won the 2016 election. And, you know, because that didn't happen, and because of the world that we're currently living in, it's really interesting looking at that and then just kind of seeing where we're at now. And in some ways, it just makes me sad, but like, the book itself was so fluffy and happy that you're able to overlook it really easily. Next, talking about the plot. The plot is very predictable. Like I knew what was pretty much going to happen as soon as I opened the book because it's a romantic contemporary, and generally know how those go because they're pretty formulaic and whatnot. But I just loved going on the journey of it all because it was really well done and really interesting. I loved just all the nuances that were going on with the plot and everything. It was just interesting because not only the United States side of things, Alex's mother is up for re-election, so there's a lot of stuff surrounding politics in the United States and everything that goes into being a politician and being part of the White House. And Alex is also finishing up his college life and graduating and trying to figure out the career that he wanted to go into. And I was like, yeah, I feel the same way. And ultimately, and this isn't like too spoilery, but ultimately Alex ended up wanting to go to law school. And we'll talk about that in a second because I would like to talk about that since I am just finishing up law school. But I also just really liked seeing the England side of things and everything that Henry was having to deal with and go through with his side of everything. I really, really, really wish we got his POV alongside Alex's because I just feel like that would be a really extra layer into an already wonderful story. So I'm just really into the plot and just how it was executed. It just really, really worked for me. And I loved the romantic side of things as well, even though a lot of it was sexual at times. Like, it was like very soft, and it wasn't, a lot of it was like very fade to black. It wasn't as explicit as I think some people are expecting it to be, but maybe it's just because like I've also read adult romances and they're like super hardcore heavy in a lot of ways, but this is classified as new adult. It's definitely not YA. So definitely know that going in, but I do think it's a really good book to read if you want to get your feet wet into that kind of a genre. I really do think it's a good stepping stone if you want to kind of go from YA to new adult or even just try adult. I think this is a good book for you guys to start out on. But I just loved hearing about how Henry wanted something different for himself than what was expected of him, and it was just a really wonderful journey and just a really, really well executed plot. Now, just talking about the career path thing that Alex is going on with the whole law school adventure thing, so when I was reading that, I was like really excited because it was like, hey, I'm a law student, like I'm just getting ready to graduate and be done with everything. So I would like want to impart my wisdom onto Alex a little bit because he's like, he's thinking about going into law and he wants to do civil rights stuff, which makes 100% sense. And I just really enjoyed that. I do have some concerns though, and I'm going to explain them, and then I'm going to explain why I kind of resolved my concerns. So first and foremost, Alex and Henry do end up getting into a relationship, and let me tell you, being in a relationship in law school, not the smartest idea. I watched so many relationships fail. I watched a lot of people get divorced over the course of law school. So it's like definitely puts a strain on your relationships with people in some form or another. Like, I definitely had some, I don't want to call it strains on my friendships, but like certain friendships kind of fell to the background, or like I just wasn't in contact with them. I wasn't able to talk to them when they wanted to talk to me, kind of a thing. So I mean, it's really, really tricky, especially if you're not in the same area. But then again, if your spouse or your partner or your friends are just as busy as you are and you are willing to make it work, it can work, but it's not easy. And I mean, okay, so Alex will be in law school, and when I sat back and thought about it, Henry is also going to be busy because he's going to be doing a lot of like philanthropic work, and he did get an apartment or a brownstone or whatever in the general area that Alex is going to be. So I mean, they'll be in closer vicinity than having an entire ocean separated between them. So I mean, that's, I guess, a little bit of a plus. But the thing is like, they probably still won't see a whole ton of each other because they'll both be busy and doing things. But I think if they're willing to make it work, they can make it work. And I'm a little bit less concerned about them because of all of that. I mean, they are both very high profile people. They probably know the risks, and they know probably all the tension that could be on them because they've been in the spotlight. So that also might help their case a little bit too. But I just really am like concerned about Alex, and Alex, just know that you can do it. It's gonna be a rough 3 years, but you can do it. I have complete and utter faith in you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, of course, are the characters. And there are a lot of characters I want to talk about. First and foremost, of course, are our two protagonists, Alex and Henry. They're the center of the book. However, there are some incredible side relationships as well on both sides of the pond. So on Henry's side, he has two really close family friendship situations going on. He's got his sister B, and then he has his best friend Pez. And then on the United States side of things, Alex has his sister June, and they have a really close friend who just so happens to be the vice president's daughter named Nora. And I just loved their dynamics so much, like both sides of things. And then when they all come together, holy crap, it's like everything. I just wanted more content just surrounding that group of people. They're great. But also just getting to see the family dynamics, you know, between Alex and his mother, and Alex and his father and his stepfather, and some other adult figures in his life. Getting to see Henry interact not only with his sister but with his brother and his grandmother, who is the Queen of England, and then also talking about his mother and everything. I just died. Like, it was just so well done. The relationships were so incredibly well done. Just all of them. The romantic relationships, the familial relationships, the like actual friend relationships, the more professional side of things. It was just all so incredibly well done. Talking a little bit about just these characters, one thing that I really absolutely loved was getting to see myself in them. I am like 90% Henry, and I am like 5 to 10% Alex, because okay, Alex is this really outgoing, like in your face, excitable puppy boy, and that's kind of me in a lot of ways. But then like Henry is this soft, emotional, like lover of history and classics, and just like literal sappy romantic, and I'm like all of that. So just kind of like just literally seeing myself just in this relationship was really incredible to me. I just really appreciated that. And then also just seeing Alex kind of figure out his sexual identity. I had a similar experience. It did not happen in that way by any means, but just the experience that Alex had with thinking about everything and coming to terms with it all is something that I definitely went through in my life at one point, and it was just wonderful to see that. I just literally loved all the things about this. I can't express my love for these characters because I really and truly love all of them. Just all of the different aspects they brought to it, just all the nuances, and just I cannot wrap my head around the fact that this is a debut novel. It was just so incredibly mind-blowing, and I just loved it. Okay, like I am not doing a good job with the characters and the character discussion, and part of that is deliberate because I don't want to spoil you guys for the characters themselves, because it is really, really a journey that I think everyone needs to take with them, because they're so nuanced and they're so incredible. But the little things that I did say, especially about Henry and Alex, I do think are just really, really great. Now, one thing I do want to mention is this book does have quite a few triggers, and I will leave them down below in the description. But I feel like I should stop talking now because it's just going to be me screaming incoherently for the rest of the video for like 10 hours. If I were to keep going, it would be something along the lines of like for 10 hours. So I'm just gonna say read it, and definitely please come talk to me about it if you do or when you do, because please, like, despite the fact that I am even making this when I'm making it and like that I'm technically supposed to be on hiatus, I want to talk to you about it. So come DM me because I am still responding to those when I can. It'll probably be more of that than responding to comments, just an FYI. But other than that, that's about all I've got for you guys today. So please let me know down below if you've either read or are planning on reading this book so we can scream about it together, because please, like, this is arguably one of my favorite books of the year so far. I just loved it so much. But other than that, you guys know the drill. I have both my social media links down below. I have a Twitter, which is @ASeaOfTomes, which is the same as my handle here. And while I'm not currently like responding to like actual thread things, I will be responding to DMs. So please feel free to DM me anything you want, and I will respond when I can. And then I also have a Goodreads, which is also linked down below, and you guys can go over there and follow me and see what I'm reading, track my progress, and see my overall general superficial thoughts on things before I come and scream at you about them over here. And then I'm also started linking my ships and fandoms page down below, because some people have kind of expressed an interest in knowing a little bit more about that. And because I update that more than I am able to update you guys, I figured I'd just leave that down below. But other than that, I'll catch you later in another video for you guys again soon. Okay, bye.